government will decide which, if any, of Lord Justice Leveson's recommendations are enforced. But the British press could be on the brink of an unprecedented shake-up. Tim Muffet, BBC News.
So let's discuss the other side of the argument now. Martin Moore is from the Media Standards Trust, and broadcaster Anne Diamond also joins us from Kidlington in Oxfordshire. Both gave evidence to the Leveson inquiry. A very good morning to you both.
And you had a pretty torrid time at the hands of the press, particularly when you're a breakfast television presenter yourself. What do you particularly want to see done? There's this big argument about statutory regulation, whether there should be a law, and if so, what kind of law?
Yes, I think most people would say we don't need any change in the law. The laws are already there. The trouble is the journalists haven't been or not all of the journalists have been behaving according to the law. What we want is some sort of statutory underpinning to enforce that law. Yes, I mean, I myself was tabloid fodder some 25 years ago when we had the Press Council, which was judged to be absolutely toothless. Then it was replaced by the Press Complaints Commission, which again has turned out to be utterly useless. And I think the argument that most of us would reasonably put forward is that self-regulation has been given its chance and it hasn't worked. And now we need some real teeth. And the only way to have real teeth behind maybe an agreed code of conduct is to actually have some sort of statutory underpinning.
And I just wonder, if you look back at the way that you were treated and some of the stories that emerged about you, papers running stories with headlines which were very distressing for you, offering your nanny £30,000 for a story, sending a reporter to pose as a doctor in the hospital where you give birth. Just explain for us how you think that the sort of changes you would like to see would prevent those things happening, or would they not prevent them but give you some avenue to pursue after they emerge?
Well, a little bit of both, actually. And I'm not sitting here as a whinging celebrity. 98% of the evidence that Lord Leveson heard was not about being a celebrity at all. It was about the ethics, behaviour, the culture of the press, which will pursue anybody, famous or otherwise, to sensationalise and sell newspapers. That's what it's all been about. And I think, yes, what you need is to change the culture and an enforcement of those rules. Newspapers knowing that ultimately they might even have their newspaper taken off them if they continually and barefacedly flout the law. Ultimately, that could happen to them will change the culture. And also, if ordinary people who have been victimised by the press, who've been monstered by the press, can actually appeal to somebody, to a body that really is going to do something. Because up until now, you can be monstered, you can be libelled, you can be vilified, and the only redress you've ever had is through the courts, which most people can't afford at all. Or through the Press Council, where you've got some tiny little apology the size of that on page 23, when you initially monstered on the front page. Yeah. We've just got to have a better system.
Okay, Martin Moore.
Martin Moore from the Media Standards Trust and Anne Diamond, thank you both very much indeed for joining us. Thank you.